I'm going to use a pack randomizer to decide what I build in The Sims. The plan is to randomize one of each pack type. So we'll have one expansion pack, one game pack, one stuff pack, and one kit. And then we have to try to combine those packs together in a way that doesn't look ridiculous and hopefully actually works out into a cool build. The problem is that this could kind of go one of two ways. We could get really lucky and randomize packs that work well together. Think like if we spun Parenthood and Growing Together. They're kind of similar vibes, they match well, the gameplay works. Or even if we got the Storybook Nursery kit and Vampires and we kind of had a similar vibe to the furniture. That's best case scenario. That's easy for us to do. But worst case scenario is we spin like luxury party stuff and the Star Wars pack. Those two packs have literally nothing in common. They are completely opposite styles. So trying to combine them into a single build is genuinely difficult. And that's what makes this fun. It kind of pushes me out of my comfort zone. It makes me use packs in different ways. It makes me combine different styles that I wouldn't otherwise use. And to do this, we're going to use James Turner's random pack generator. I'll link this down below for you in case you want to use it. So like I said, we're going to have it give us at least one of each type of pack, but I'm also going to throw an extra one in there and spin for 5 results instead of 4. It kind of gives like a wildcard element to it. We'll have at least one expansion pack, but we might get 2. We might have 2 kits. We just don't really know what to expect until we hit the generate button. So it sounds like for our build today, we're gonna have Get to Work, Island Living, Perfect Patio Stuff, Bust the Dust, and Jungle Adventure. Okay, my immediate reaction is that Island Living and Jungle Adventure is a good spin. Like those kind of work well together. Bust the Dust, I'm not so sure about. That one's kind of throwing me off a little bit. Get to Work is also a random one because it's so like community lot focused. I had thought we were going to try to build a house, but now I'm like, maybe we try to build some sort of community space instead. Island Living and Jungle Adventure kind of have the same build style. Get to Work and Perfect Patio have totally different ones. And Bust the Dust has no build style. It's not really even a build kit at all. It's like 4 items and they're all vacuums. So I don't really know what to make of that either. I think overall, this is kind of a lucky spin because we got a couple packs that have kitchen sets. We've got beds. I have done this before and I think I had a harder time with those previous attempts. These I think we can make work. We also even have 3 worlds to choose from. We've got Magnolia Promenade from Get to Work, but I'm not really feeling this, I'm gonna be honest. We also have Sulani from Island Living, which is beautiful, but I'm kind of thinking that we could maybe build in Selva Dorada, which is the vacation world from Jungle Adventure, because I never build here. I don't really use Jungle Adventure very often. I don't come here all that often. So it might be kind of cool to make some sort of community lot in this world. I know they already have a bar, but what if we built another one, like a pool bar kind of thing? Because then we could use the hot tub. It's a community lot, so we can put like the public bathroom stuff from Get to Work. I think that that's got potential, and there could even be like a supply closet to stick the vacuums in. You know what, actually? I think that might be the vibes. Okay, I think we've got a plan. Well, let's just dive straight into the speed build and I'll kind of walk you through what we're doing. So the first thing that I'm starting off with is trying to figure out which side of the lot is the front. You know The Sims 4, sometimes the gallery has weird preview photos, the front of the lot is not always where you expect it will be, and in this case, the front of the lot is actually the exact opposite of where I thought it would be. So when you're facing the lot, the pool is on the right. So just to give you some context of how this build is going to be laid out. And then the main building is kind of small. It's 2 stories, but one of them is really tiny. We've got a big balcony in the front. We're going to have an outdoor staircase leading up to it. We're going to have a lot of patio stuff like lounge chairs and tables. I ended up putting a fireplace upstairs. There's like some hangout space. We have a bar on the inside. And then also in the back corner, I kind of built like a secret hot tub garden. I wasn't sure if it was cool or not, but I kind of liked the idea of trying to hide it away back there. And I tried to use as many items as possible from each pack as I was doing this. Now, obviously, I used mostly Jungle Adventure. We've got a lot of Jungle Adventure going on with the exterior. I used windows and doors and roofs and wallpapers from that pack. We even have like a pool trim from Jungle Adventure. That cool blue fence that you're seeing is Jungle Adventure. So there's a lot of stuff going on from that one. But we also have a fair bit of landscaping and like patio furniture that I used from Island Living. I wasn't super excited about the patio furniture from Perfect Patio Stuff because it was a little bit more modern than I wanted to be. So I didn't end up using the Perfect Patio Stuff furniture, but I used a lot of decor from it and the hot tub. I found a really cool sign from Get to Work that I was using. I put like the paper towels on the wall of the bathroom from Get to Work. I think we used Get to Work the least probably, unless, well, We actually used Bust the Dust the least because Bust the Dust is not a real pack, but I did put a supply closet and I shoved like a vacuum cleaner in it. If we were playing this with other packs, I probably would have liked to use the Love Struck supply closet that you can woohoo in. I would have put like a broom from Laundry Day, but of course we didn't have any of those to use here, so I was making do with what I had. But that's kind of a brief overview of the vibes here, and right now we're trying to figure out the layout. I really wasn't sure how I wanted to do this because it's kind of a weird shape, and I was making it funky on purpose. I was looking for an excuse to make it funky, and of course I was also looking for excuses to use items that I don't use very often, and that's where a lot of this shines. Like for example, we've got those really cool vines on the wall. Those are from Jungle Adventure, and I never use them because they come out really far from the wall, and I think that it's just a little bit excessive on most of the builds that I try to put them on. In the past, when I tried to use those vines, I just feel like it's too much, so I haven't really used them all that often. But in this case, we're kind of like a secret bar hidden in the jungle, and so the jungly wall stuff kind of worked here, so I put them all around the exterior. I think the outside was probably the easiest part of the build. The interior layout was a little bit more difficult for me. I knew that I wanted to use the bar set from Island Living, but I kept having all of these ideas for things to add and then being like, oh wait, I can't do that. For example, I wanted to have foosball upstairs, and then I was like, oh yeah, I don't have foosball table in these packs. But I made it work. I made it work. Right now is kind of a weird part of the speed build because we're jumping around a lot. This is the time where I was going through and just literally looking through every single item and trying to find what I could use. I was like going through the entire list of all get to work items and thinking like, what could I possibly fit in here? What can I make work in this place? And that's when I found the cool sign. It's like a really pretty LED sign. I honestly never used the LED signs from Get to Work, so that was kind of a fun one to try and fit in. Of course, we have the bathroom stuff from Get to Work. There's like basically like hand sanitizer and also paper towels, so I put those in there. There's a little sign that is supposed to be a table. It's supposed to look like a picture of a table for like a furniture store, but it also kind of looks like a martini glass. So if you like squint or just don't look directly at it, you can pretend that it's a martini glass sign and not a table sign. And so I put that in the front by the front door. And then I started kind of looking through Perfect Patio for stuff. I used the Perfect Patio hedges. There's like this weird circle. It's like a sculpture. It's just a big circle shaped sculpture. I put that in our little secret hot tub garden. I don't know why, I've never used it. I don't think I have ever used that thing anywhere. So it was kind of fun to find a place for it. I definitely struggled a lot with the shape of the bathroom and the supply closet because I wanted to use the big doors from Jungle Adventure and they're very big. So it didn't really quite fit how I wanted it to, but I kind of just dealt with it in the end. But while I'm thinking about this and like starting to figure out color schemes and stuff, now is probably a good time for a life update because I tend to use these speed builds like that. They're a little podcasty at times, and I probably should address the elephant in the room, which is the hurricane. I'm recording this video before the hurricane hits Florida. It's currently Tuesday morning and the storm's getting here late Wednesday night, or I guess early Thursday morning, depending on how you look at it. It's like 1 a.m. maybe landfall. So the weather is okay right now. I don't know what it's gonna be looking like when you're seeing this video. I'm kind of trying to pre-record a little bit in case we lose power for an extended period of time. It's just weird because I'm like making this video in advance of this horrible natural disaster, and like I don't know what has happened when you're seeing it. So I just wanted to like mention that so you don't think that I'm just ignoring the fact that something horrible has happened in Florida. I've been getting a lot of comments and messages and questions from you all about my family, so I really appreciate your concern. It means a lot to me, and I will hopefully keep you updated if like anything has gone on. We're in Central Florida, we're in Orlando. The storm looks like it's gonna be a direct hit to Orlando. It's gonna go right over us, but thankfully we are not on the coast. The big deal with hurricanes is wind and water. Like the hurricane is like severe wind storm, but the big danger is water with like the flooding and the storm surge, and we don't usually have storm surge here in Orlando. Doesn't mean it won't flood at all, but it won't be as bad as it is on the coast. I probably shouldn't even say these things, so I'm gonna like jinx it, but I'm thinking of you all who are in the path of the storm. It really is just horrible with this, especially so close to the last hurricane. Like this is a nightmare, truly. It's really scary, and I should probably stop talking about it so that we can like have a more positive Sims build experience. We're starting to landscape a little bit now, and this was, I think, my favorite part of the build. I love the island living landscaping. I have so much fun using all of those pretty bushes and the flowers and stuff. So I was just going all out, putting them everywhere around the whole exterior. I keep calling that back patio the secret garden, but I really wanted to put a ton ton of plants around the outside where the hot tub is to kind of sell that secret garden concept. So it's super lush all over the place, just plants and greenery everywhere. I was kind of going for rainforest, and I think that we achieved that. I feel like this is a great example of just how well Island Living and Jungle Adventure go together, because they both have some plants that are kind of like this. Obviously, it's a different kind of tropical plant, but they're both tropical plant sets, and they mix and match really well with the palm trees and the leafy bushes and stuff. And so I was having a great time putting them together. If you're thinking about like a new pack to buy and you already have Island Living, Jungle Adventure might not be a bad addition, because it will pair very nicely with all your stuff. I also haven't really played through Jungle Adventure in a long time, so it might be kind of fun to do like a little mini Let's Play and play Jungle Adventure on YouTube. So let me know if I should do that, because I would be totally down to give it a try. It's a weird pack. I mean, it's a vacation pack, so it's maybe not as everyday useful as a bunch of the other game packs are, but it's got a lot of great build items. It's really pretty. The gameplay is fun and silly. You can die from poison. I mean, there's good options here, okay? Saying you can die from poison and then calling it a good option is unhinged. I'm sorry. But it's true. You can die from poison and it's fun. I like it. Now, what I just did there might be kind of confusing, because I just placed something off the gallery to get lights, and those lights look like the toddler stuff lights, and obviously we did not spin for toddler stuff, so like how and why am I using those? But there's a bunch of things in debug, which is like a cheat that you can use to unlock a lot of the behind the scenes type of environment objects in The Sims 4. And when they did that really weird concert over the summer, like 2 or 3 years ago, called Sim Sessions, they added a bunch of stuff into debug that they could use in the base game, including these lights. So those are base game debug fairy lights. The only problem is I really have a hard time finding them when I'm digging around in the build mode, and this happens a lot with debug stuff. So as a pro tip, if you're looking for those lights and you can't find them in your debug, you can go on the gallery and search like Sim Sessions debug, Sim Sessions lights, and people will have uploaded rooms full of just those lights. Or even like if you want to get debug cars and you want to put a fake car in your front yard, you could search like debug cars on the gallery, and people have uploaded rooms of those debug cars, and so you can just use that instead of having to search around to find the cars in debug. You can even do that for like cow plant and stuff like that if you don't want to grow one for yourself, but that's hopefully a tip. So I did that there to get those lights. Now, I did paint the entire exterior of this building blue, and I've been really trying to get out of my blue suburban era. I think the past year or so, I've really stepped away from the blue suburban. I've been trying to like not use blue in my builds intentionally so that everything isn't blue anymore, except this one's blue. This one is bright blue, but it's not blue suburban, it's blue jungle. So it's different. It's a different kind of blue. You know, saying that, I am gonna be posting a blue suburban type of video this weekend, because I'm pre-recording for the storm and I made one. I should just stop talking about it. It's a curse. I can't escape the blue suburban curse. Anyway, we're doing some like last minute details on the patio upstairs right now. I'm kind of going through everything from Jungle Adventure and just looking for stuff that could work. There's like pots and like little decorative things. There's some wall decor. I put some benches in front of the fireplace. I even found like an archaeology table, which is a skill building item from this pack. And I think it's nice to have that archaeology table, so I used that too. I put it on the other balcony, like the smaller balcony that's on the other side of the building. On this bigger balcony, I thought about having like 2 of the benches right in front of the fireplace, but then I kind of thought that it was blocking things too much, so I ended up swapping it out for a picnic table instead. And there are picnic tables from Jungle Adventure, and they're kind of cute because it looks like people have like carved their initials into them. I don't use them very often. I kind of forgot that they existed, but I also don't build with this pack very often. So that was kind of a fun discovery. That's why I like doing this sort of challenge so much, because when I'm really forcing myself to focus on a new different pack and like a different combo of packs, it makes me dig around for things, and I kind of uncover items that I didn't remember were there. I don't even think I remember if I knew that there was a picnic table from Jungle Adventure. I've never used that one, so it's cool to find. One other kind of fun thing is that you have to have a TV on a bar lot type, so I made sure I had a TV in here. I was thinking about putting like a TV room upstairs in that second floor space, but I didn't really like how it was looking. But then I found the tiny Get to Work TV. It's like almost a square, this TV from Get to Work, and it comes out really far off the wall. I think because they're trying to pretend that it is like a swivel mount. Obviously it's not, it's The Sims 4, it doesn't swivel. But because it comes so far off the wall and because it's so small, I was able to put that TV in the bar back. So there's a TV kind of like hung up on the wall in the back of the bar, which I think is so realistic. It kind of has like sports bar energy, but obviously like this is a small town, small bar, just the one TV screen back there. But you could totally see that happening in real life. So I was very happy about that all fitting and working nicely. I also put a jukebox in here. I got some really big tables. I think the tables were kind of maybe like a little bit too big. I was trying to use the big ones like I had put outside, but I also wanted to have space still on the interior for dancing, because that's part of the skill that you get from Selva Dorada. There's a whole Selva Doradian culture skill, and you can unlock some new dance moves and you learn them at the bar. So I wanted to have space so your Sims could definitely dance. There's not a lot of space, but there's a little bit of dancing space. So we do have those. I also put one of the skeletons in here. I don't know if that was weird, but I put one. I'm pretty sure a second skeleton inside of the closet. This sounds so bad when I repeat it out loud, but I put like the regular get to work skeleton in the closet and then like the fancy jungle adventure one just outside. And then I found this amazing mural. This is a base game mural and I never use it because it's so big and it's so vibrant. It's kind of hard to fit, but I managed to fit it in here. So I put it on that back wall. It was like the exact size on its own. I didn't even need to change it, and it had that really cool blue and yellow color scheme, which totally matched. So it like worked out perfectly. I put that down there. Upstairs, I put a dartboard because we have a base game dartboard now, and I really wanted to have that kind of like games room energy. I mentioned how I wanted to have foosball. Obviously, I couldn't have foosball, so I settled for darts instead. And I kind of put some little bar stools up against the wall. I don't know if this is weird or not. I thought it kind of filled in the area nicely, and it kind of made sense to cover the pergola too, because there was a little bit of clipping. I put a pergola on top of the hot tub, and then you could see it from the inside, so I was just trying to block it with counters. A lot of my Twitch chat did not like these counters. This was a very controversial choice. It's because the countertop is bright blue, and it's the same blue as the wallpaper, and they were like, this is so weird. But in my mind, I was like, it's kind of weird in a cool way. Like, I've never used those counters before, and the monochrome thing is kind of interesting, so I thought I would try it. But I also understand if you hate it. I'm not mad. I get it. It's weird. It's, I think, fun to do weird sometimes, but I understand that maybe it's too weird. And then kind of the last thing is that I ended up putting kind of a mini stage in the corner. It might be kind of weird to have the mini stage up here, like tucked away upstairs, but this way I have a microphone, there's a guitar, and like kind of a little stool, plus some more music up here. That means that it's a little bit more interchangeable with like the lounge lot type, so you could switch the lots between like a bar and a lounge and stuff. And also it's fun for skill building because there's some different things that you can use. And you can actually learn new songs on the guitar from the skill in this pack, which is kind of fun. So that was kind of a nod to it. But that, my friends, is the fully finished build. It's not very big. What I want to do now is pop into the game and give you a full tour of the finished product so you can kind of see it a little bit more up close. I'll point out some fun things. There is an alligator that I did not address yet, so I probably should. If you're looking for it on the gallery, it's called the Croc and Roll Bar. Like rock and roll, except croc as in crocodile. It uses only 5 packs: Island Living, Get to Work, Jungle Adventure, Perfect Patio Stuff, and also the Bust the Dust kit. And let's be clear, you don't have to have Bust the Dust. If you don't have it, that's fine. There's one vacuum in there because I had to use it. It basically has no kits. That's a completely unnecessary one for the build. And this is what the front looks like when you first load in. So I'll point out a couple of things. I put this kind of fun sign outside. I'm pretty sure that this is for like the campground part of Selva Dorada, but it looks cool in front of the bar. And then over here, we've got the staircase to get upstairs and also the main entrance into like the outdoor patio space. So you kind of walk in between these plants over these little stepping stones. We've got a couple of tables outside. There's that martini glass sign that is totally not a table. You might think, Kayla, that says table. No, that says martini glass retail sign, not table retail sign. It's totally fine. And then this is the pool. I put a couple lily pads. This is the crocodile. In build mode, it looks like a square. In live mode, it's VFX. So if you're actually playing here, the crocodile will like slowly appear in and out of the water at times. So he'll just be swimming around in there. He won't hurt your Sims or anything. It's purely visual. It's the same as when there's just like birds flying out and about. Your Sims can't interact with them. They're just kind of there for looks. The crocodile is just there for looks, but it's funny when your Sims are swimming and he's like right there, right next to them. We've got a couple of lounge chairs out here as well. And we'll go maybe upstairs first. So if you come up here, we've got a little patio. There's a couple of chairs for you to sit on. There's the table. And this is what I mean. Do you see how there's like little names and hearts and stuff kind of carved into it? I thought that was so cute. I totally forgot that was there. And then through this door, this is that upstairs area that we just did. We've got a small bar section. I ended up actually putting a laptop here last minute. You don't need to have that. And it might be kind of weird that there's a laptop there, but I was thinking about gameplay in this pack. And if you get poisoned, you need to buy a cure. So it's nice to have a computer that's readily accessible. So I put it in the bar just to have. I also put some really funky fish. There's like an electric eel on the wall. This geode is from Get to Work. It's one of the collections that you can get from the alien world. So I put that there because it kind of matched. I also put this guy. I put him there as if he was performing. If you wanted to use the microphone, you could just delete him, but I thought it was cute, so I put him on the stage. There's just seating here. We've got the dartboard. And then out this doorway, this is the archaeology table, so your Sims can use it to skill build. We also have a telescope, so they can use that to skill build, or to die, if that's what you wish. That's always an option. And then back downstairs, we go back out here, down the stairs, and then through these main doors to get inside. In here, we've got kind of a small space for dancing. On top of this rug, there's a jukebox. We've got some tables. We kind of got like some bar storage, and this is that amazing mural that I was talking about. Over here to the right, I put some more fish. We've got the cool bar area. I love how many of these LED light signs I put in. And then down this way, this is the little closet that I put. We have the skeleton in the closet. There's like some Get to Work signage with the fire thing, the fire extinguisher, and also the Bust the Dust vacuum, the one and only item from Bust the Dust in the build. There is a bathroom down here. It's quite small, but I used a lot of Jungle Adventure for it. We also have the Get to Work stuff like the paper towels. And then if you come all the way outside and then kind of around the back this way, there's actually another bathroom. This thing is from Island Living, and it's like a bathroom stall, but I put it here because I thought it kind of helped with the shape of the building. It makes it a bit more interesting, and actually it's coming off the lot. The lot ends on this line right here, and it's a bit bigger. It still works, but it's a nice thing to have. Okay, I'm in the tree. It's a nice thing to have, but you can kind of see what I mean by like the hidden little secret garden. You access that through this door right here. When you come outside, we've got like some interesting perfect patio wall decor. I did put an outdoor shower, so we've got that. This is from Island Living. And then this is the hot tub. It's a perfect patio hot tub with a cool Island Living pergola on top, which actually fits perfectly. It's like right in the corners. And that also helps because it kind of gives some more interest to the shape of the building too. It's clipping a tiny bit, but that's okay. Just ignore it. And that means there's multiple woohoo spots because they can woohoo in this. I put a woohoo bush. Although I'm pretty sure that this shower does not work for woohoo because it's like out. These showers don't work for woohoo either. And they're kind of similar with them being just like one back piece. So I don't really know. But that, my friends, is the fully finished product. I am so proud of this build. I really liked building it. I think the colors are fun. The lights are fun. It's fun to come and visit. It's a shame that it's in a vacation world because you can't come very often, but I guess that makes it special. And overall, I'm really glad that I did this challenge. I feel like I uncovered some new items. I used things together that I had never done before. I have never thought to put Perfect Patio and Jungle Adventure. I've never thought to use Get to Work with Jungle Adventure, so that was cool. And overall, I thought it was a pretty good time. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I think on that note, I'm gonna end this video right here. I'm sorry that it was kind of short. I'm really trying to make as many videos as possible before the storm hits, so I'm doing what I can. Stay safe, thank you for the well wishes, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. Oh, also, I actually live streamed this build on my Twitch channel first. I kind of like fake respun, even though I already spun 2 days ago when I did the stream. But if you want to watch the stream back, I post all of them on my second channel called More Simsie, so you can see the full stream there.